silence here, not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of stories untold. The land speaks in whispers carried by the wind, and the elders have heard them for generations. But what happens when these voices fade? When the young, lost in bustling, air-deafening cities, forgets to listen? In the heart of Kajiado, tradition meets the tides of change. A powerful conversation is unfolding. Different generations coming together, not just to talk, but to connect, share, and learn from each other. Here, elders carry stories of resilience, of battles fought, not with weapons, but with wisdom.
My name is Anita Soina. I am a Kenyan, but I identify as a global climate change advocate. I also identify as a community development advocate, a digital SDGs and sustainability influencer, a green politician, a volunteer, and just so much more. I am the founder of the Soina Foundation, an organization that seeks to support communities, to have access to water, have access to quality education, support them to build climate resilience, and just so much more in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. In short, we're focusing on building sustainable communities, and we work with them closely by acknowledging that the communities we work with, we don't look at them as victims of these challenges, but we look at them as stakeholders. And so they don't stop at being victims, they are stakeholders that help to shape the solutions that are good for them. I can say that I have always had this dream and this idea of intergenerational dialogue for community development. And this is because for the longest time, science has borrowed from indigenous and traditional knowledge, but it is not being acknowledged. And so when it is not being acknowledged, then that means it's not, people don't see the importance of it. And especially young people will not really understand how indigenous and traditional knowledge is important in giving solutions to these challenges that we are trying to solve. And so one of the ways in which you can do this is in having conversation, starting with a conversation where we come together, different generations, understand why things happen in our communities the way they do. And this is because also mostly when people go to support communities, they go to them from a point of what we have come to bring to you and not really what the community needs.
Jana nilifurahi sana. Hata sijaona furaha kama hiyo. Sababu umelimisha, umeonyesha, na umeonekana mambo ambaye hatukuwa nimejua. Kumbe miti kama hii tunaweza kupandisha, hata kama ni Mungu amepandisha. Sisi wote kwa jamii, mashamba yako, mashamba ya huyu, tunaweza kulima na tunaweza kusaidia.
Our forefathers held deep wisdom, stories of resilience, culture, and survival. They saw the world change and gave lessons to pass down. And the youth, full of energy and fresh ideas, are ready to listen, ask questions, and find ways to connect tradition with the modern world.
The experience has been amazing. It's been thrilling. We got the opportunity, number one, to have like an all-night session, whereby we set up a campfire. We had the community come in, we had the young people come in, all excited. We went for hours building on conversation, talking about what was, what is, and what needs to be. So I think importantly, it created a space, gave us an opportunity to be able to build on conversations of linking indigenous knowledge to more of modern projects and modern processes to come up with solutions.
This is more than a conversation. It's a journey, a chance to experience life through each other's perspective and understand what truly matters.
Some of the things that we learned during the dialogue was very helpful to us and very advantageous. And I'm hoping that during our future engagements with other partners, we are going to put into practice what we learned. And and I'm very grateful again for the invitation just to be here and represent my organization. It has been really, really knowledgeable and it's very powerful as well, getting elders to stay with us. It's not just a normal thing, it's not a normality. So we are very privileged to have that opportunity to just share knowledge amongst us and solutions that could really benefit us in the future.
Kuna kitu inaitwa rotational grazing, ambayo sisi saizi tunasema rotational grazing. Wao kwa wakati wao walikuwa wanajua, leo unafuga mifugo hapa kwa muda fulani, ukiona nyasi imepungua unasongesha hapa, ukiona imepungua hapa unasongesha hapa. Si ilikuwa hivyo? Hivyo ndo wao wanaelewa. Si kwamba wakati sasa tunatazamia masuala ya climate change tuseme ati hao wazee hawaelewi kitu ambayo inafanyika. Sasa sisi tunaanza kukuja na policies ambazo haziambatani na njia ambazo wao walikuwa wanafanya.
Because we have opportunities to sit down in global spaces where these policies are shaped, then we have to make sure that what we take there are what the communities really need. So we are here to have these conversations and to represent our own communities in different platforms that are meaningful in ensuring that that we have sustainable communities.
When generations meet, something magical happens. Ideas are exchanged, perspectives shift, and solutions are born.
My name is Sizel Ouma. I work with the Kajiado Foundation. The experience has been massive. We have learned a lot. And I feel like this was very necessary because there seems to be a gap between the two generations. So having the opportunity to sit down with the elders and just learn from them the cultural aspect, matters, climate change, it has been really impactful.
The sitting or the dialogue was a very big success. It was very exciting, and what we saw is there was a bridge of culture. There was a bridge of what we lost in terms of the elder generation passing knowledge to the younger generation.
At the Soina Foundation, we really partner with local organizations, because they are the ones that stay there, they are the ones that understand the challenges in that community, and also they are the ones that can allow us to have access to communities in an easy way, because sometimes it's not just easy to go to a place and be welcomed. When we have friends on ground, it makes it easier for us. And for this specific part of Kajiado, Nkolili CBO has been a great partner. Actually, when you see me, you see Nkolili. When you see someone from Nkolili, you see the Soina Foundation. That's how we have established our partnerships. And so because also we want to support such community-based organization for them to be able to implement what we are working on in their own regions.
Both the elders and the youths agree that the culture of intergenerational dialogue that has been part of our communities has been long forgotten.
Jana nilifurahi sana kwa sababu kuna vitu vingi yenye nimesoma, nimejifunza kupitia huko, kwa sababu tangu mimi nizaliwe hatujawahi kaa na wazee kama jana, yani tusungumze, tuseme vile tulilisema jana, ama tujue vitu vya kitambo. Kwa hivyo jana nilifurahi sana.
Our partners, the Kajiado Foundation, which is under the patronage of Senator Moses Otieno Kajwang, who has been the chair and the convener of the Parliamentary Caucus on Climate Change for a long time. He has been so supportive to the young people in the climate change space, and so it's necessary for the foundation to be part of to be part of this noble idea. And I think that's also to show the role in which policymakers play in shaping these conversations.
This is a community-led initiative, and as the Kajiado Foundation, we've also focused on our communities for development. And
in a setting once marked by silence, voices now rise with courage. Children, youth, and elders engage in open conversations that were once considered too uncomfortable to discuss. Topics like female genital mutilation and girls' education take center stage, breaking generational barriers and challenging long-held norms.
Kuna vitu yenye tuliacha for free. Kitu kama ukeketaji ilisha. Ukipata mtu mwenye bado anakeketa msichana wake ama anapeana msichana wake aolewe, waambie Soina, waambie Kajiado Foundation, waambie Nkolili, sheria ifanye nini? Ifuate. Sheria iko na mkono refu sana.
What was once unspoken is now a shared dialogue, paving the way for change.
This initiative, I believe, is important because so many policies have been made. Some have been enacted, some have not. But instead of not just continuing to make other policies, it reaches a point where you have to go back to the source to understand where things went wrong, what you are supposed maybe to carry forward to ensure that some of the challenges that you're facing right now find a better solution.
In a society where women were once sidelined in important discussions, they now speak freely, addressing issues that have long affected them.
My name is Ruth Naseko, and I'm the founder of Nesula Accessories CBO. It's a community-based organization that empowers Maasai women for sustainable development. Yesterday, I experienced indigenous knowledge from our elders, and what I believe in is that a tree without its roots will fall, definitely. And our elders have the knowledge, and we as the youth have the energy and the innovations to new solutions. And this initiative is important because it is bridging the gap between generations, making sure that the past knowledge is not lost, but is integrated with the new generation in our modern world right now.
Climate change possesses a serious threat to the very survival of this community. Through this dialogue, they share knowledge on traditional resilience strategies and modern solutions, recognizing that climate action is not just about the future, but about the survival today.
I know somebody somewhere will probably ask, what next? So after we have these dialogues, what next? Is that these dialogues will also shape our participation and what we are going to take to COP30 in Brazil this year. These are some of the things that we are going to discuss and showcase from our communities. And recently I had an opportunity to be part of Water Aid, Young Leaders, first ever Young Leaders Roundtable, and also being hosted by His Majesty King of England at the Buckingham Palace to discuss water issues. And so we have this open letter that 14 young leaders from 10 countries across the world are preparing, ahead of COP, things that we want mainstreamed. We want water mainstream in the climate discussion, and we want really water issues to also be looked at as important as they are, because we are told that 1 in 10 people lack access to clean and safe water, and with climate crisis, it's set to worsen. And about 90% of the climate disasters we have are water related. Look at floods, look at droughts, and so much more. And so also what we were able to gain here from the discussions that were had about water will also feed into that, which will go to COP30, where young leaders will ask world leaders and different actors on what they need to do in order to support this critical issue.
In a society that often divides by age, this dialogue proves that wisdom has no expiry date and action has no age limit. By coming together, the young and old are shaping solutions that honor the past, address the present, and secure the future together.